That's good. We do have, speaking of goalies, some news coming out of Minnesota. Filip Gustavsson, all aboard the Gus bus. They have signed goalie Filip Gustavsson to a 3-year contract worth just over $11 million, AAV 3.75. Here's Wild GM Bill Guerin on the move.
We're extremely happy to announce the re-signing of Filip Gustavsson to a 3-year contract. Filip had a career year last year. As a team, we're more than happy to make this investment in him. And 3 years, I mean, yeah, it is a commitment. It's a commitment from us. It's a commitment from him. I think 3 years at the age that Gus is, it gives him a nice runway to really prove what he can be.
I'm really happy to have three years instead of just having 1 year and having all the pressure on my shoulders again to really perform for this year to get another contract. So a 3-year feels like I'm so excited to do it with Minnesota again, because I was enjoying it so much last year and we had so much fun.
I just expect him to come in top shape and compete for the starting job.
My expectation is that I'm going to try and start off where I finished last year, just play all the games I get from the coach and win as many games as I can to get even more games. It's all up to me, I guess, to get more games, and that's what I'm going to show.
I'm confident in the team. The expectations are still high, and we expect to win, and that's where we are.
All right, and so with that, Filip Gustavsson and Marc-Andre Fleury, as you just heard, are kind of expected to share the net. It's an interesting situation because Gustavsson was actually the one that started the playoff series this year, and everyone thought it would automatically be Flower. So they have that now, not only insurance, but maybe even their number one goalie in Filip Gustavsson. How do you see the situation playing out with Fleury still with 1 year left on his deal, and now Gustavsson there for 3 more?
Well, I think it's a nice bit of business from Bill Guerin, who looked like he was enjoying himself at the Tiki Bar.
That's not Minnesota, I don't think.
I think it's really, this is kind of how you should do business, I think. I mean, you have a good player who's younger, who maybe has a little bit more runway to prove himself as an everyday guy year in and year out. You give him a little bit more money that he earned, a 3-year deal, not a 7-year deal or an 8-year deal that could turn out one of 2 ways. I mean, here it is, go earn it, kind of get some more reps in. You still have a good goaltender in Marc-Andre Fleury for another year, so they're not spending $15 million on goalies this year.
And they can't, right?
They absolutely cannot, and it's a good bit of business. It's a good, reasonable number. If he wins you a lot of games, that's huge value for the Minnesota Wild in terms of wins per cost.
And it probably also says a lot about how Gustavsson feels about the Wild in the future. I mean, we know about the salary cap issues, and they're super hamstrung by them this year, and I think next year as well, right?
Yep.
But eventually, when this deal is done, if Gustavsson has proven for 3 years that he's a solid number one guy going forward for this team, then maybe they do really spend the money and keep him long-term there.
Well, that's probably the goal. That's the goal for Bill Guerin. And if he wins games and shows you he's a top 5, top 10 goalie in the league, you don't have a problem paying that guy. It's such an important position that you want to be able to have that understanding, okay, we have that taken care of. That's our goalie. That's our most important position. And GMs probably don't have a hard time rolling out some cash for that important piece.
Exactly. Okay, so he is done, did not have to go to arbitration, which is good news for everybody. We've talked about this a lot on the show this summer, that is not a fun process, but that might end up being a process for some guys as you take a look at some notable remaining RFAs with their hearing dates.